In, out, in, out. There was a repetitive rhythm of rushing air that went unrelenting against my already cold skin. The constant breath against my ear made me grit my teeth and clench my eyes even further. The loud grumble was like a thunder to my eardrums as it accompanied the heavy winds. A storm was brewing right next to me while I lay in bed, and I couldn't move an inch in fear that even the slightest twitch would awaken what lay beside me. My covers were pulled up high onto the bridge of my nose, as if that would give me some sort of protection. I slowed my breathing, trying to act as if I was just sleeping, even though I knew it wouldn't stop the heaving next to me. Maybe I was just trying to convince myself to sleep. Everything was always better in the morning, right? I considered for a brief moment opening my eyes to grab the gun at my bedside table. But in that moment I couldn't even find the courage. Disgust that would face me in the darkness, I held my stomach firm in its grasp, and thankfully the nausea that it brought kept me grounded. I began to think about the pain and to find a way to settle my stomach when suddenly a shift. The slight crinkling of a blanket. I could feel something slither closer to me under the covers. I held my breath and hoped that they didn't know that I was there in the darkness. Despite my praying, I felt a strong hand creep onto my stomach and wrap around my waist. Large fingers pressed into me as they pulled me closer towards themselves. I waited, feeling a body pressed up against me, the loud growl directly in my ear. I felt queasy as the hot air brushed up against my skin. Its head was now directly beside me. If I was still, they may have moved closer, but I felt my body twitch. There was a reaction immediately as an arm gripped me tighter and brought its head up. Its body shifted against me, and I knew that it was about to bring its head back down. I didn't want to wait any longer. I pulled away and leaped out of bed. The grunting and wheezing stopped immediately. Another hiss of the blanket sounded as a figure on my bed raised up and turned towards me. I could see the silhouette of its head cocking as I reached into the table and grabbed my gun. I grit my teeth in anger. I saw the flesh and teeth in the moonlight reveal a grin in return. I raised my gun, and as its mouth opened to speak, I could feel the rush of cool wind when my pistol shot in the air, as two legs appeared from underneath the sheets. I could feel the cold metal of the gun on my skin as the figure pulled itself up to stand. I focused my finger on the trigger, and as his head met its line with fire...
Good morning.
The splattering of blood gave no color to the dark room, but it stood out against the wall. There was already a ringing in the room when the body fell onto the ground in front of me, but the bang that followed stood out against the noise. All of him, except for the sickeningly pleasant smile that was plastered on his face. I should have kicked him out sooner. I hate guys who snore.